Welcome to Ideagen TV. Today we have with us KPMG's Ann Gross, lead data citizens with purpose. Ann, welcome.
Thanks. It's great to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, Ann, we appreciate the opportunity as well, and it's truly an honor and a privilege to have you with us today, especially with the interview we are about to embark upon at Ideagen TV. We are excited to speak with global leaders and luminaries, and today that happens to be you. So it is indeed an honor and a privilege, as I mentioned. And I'd like to lead right into the interview with asking you to kindly brief our global audience on what Data Citizens with Purpose is and what you do.
Sure, happy to talk about it. Data Citizens with Purpose is the leading way KPMG works together for better with data as we provide active learning experiences for our people and serve our communities and drive the development of data-driven solutions to difficult ESG concerns. That's a mouthful. Basically, what we're doing is we are looking for ways to upskill our people in data and analytics, be data-driven always, and how we consult with our clients. And we provide these experiences for them to really grow their skills and knowledge and to become more confident in how they're utilizing data. The types of experiences that we create include pro bono engagements. These are structured 8-week projects. We deliver to nonprofit organizations that have been nominated by our own employees and partners. They're about 8 to 10 weeks and provide insights to our clients. We staff these engagements with people who are skilled and use data and analytics in their day-to-day work. And then we bring a team of 4, 6, 8 individuals who are really newer at their data skills. So we take the experience and the growing experience and skill, and we put them together to deliver to our clients insights that are really valuable to the nonprofits. So helping them better understand their volunteers, who they're serving, where they can expand service, just those insights that help make good management decisions and can drive strategy. The other type of experience that we're curating for our people are hackathons. These are 2-week events where we identify an ESG concern, environmental social governance concern, that both KPMG and our clients may face. We identify a dozen or so data sets, and then we get our people to sign up, and they spend 2 weeks looking at the problem, looking at the data, and coming up with possible solutions for how we can answer that concern. For example, last year we recognized our desire to positively impact communities globally, nationally, locally, and asked our participants to consider how they might help up to 10 million or more disadvantaged youth find and secure in-demand living wage work that would allow them to contribute to the economy. What our participants identified in the data was, really notable from the fact that apprenticeships, are filled by 80% or more white males, and maybe we could provide more opportunities there, to the fact that there are some geographies that are better at social and economic mobility. And if we invest in those communities, then we are probably going to help more people. It is really looking at the power of data, engaging our people on things that they're passionate about to come up with these ideas and innovations to do good. And it's wonderful to be able to say that's my job, is enabling people to do this really good stuff and utilizing data for a good purpose.
And what an incredible job, what an incredible opportunity to lead, and perhaps most importantly, to impact and affect all of these areas with your leadership. So I'd like to zero in on what you talked about and highlighted, which is data. Mm-hmm. So data is critically important, and Data Citizens with Purpose is obviously the moniker that you all are leading under for this specific initiative. And so, how do you then promote the ethical
Yeah.
and responsible use of this data within KPMG and, of course, within the broader community?
Yeah. You make a really important point. Data is the new business currency. KPMG, our clients, our competitors, we're all collecting and purchasing data every day. And we have to have the policies and infrastructure in place to protect our client and our client's data. Anyone who works at KPMG knows how serious we are about careful handling of data. Each of our projects is governed by a customized data protection plan. That's our pro bono projects and our fee paying client projects. In developing and delivering our pro bono services, we model for our clients how to securely manage data. This starts with the secure file transfer protocol that we use to receive our client data. We coach them how to de-identify data before having them send it to us. We are transparent with our clients on how we're going to use their data, um, and what will happen with it after we finish the project. And we do face those circumstances where a client will send us PII, that personally identifiable information, and you know, we model with this is what you need to do. We create an awareness of what we've received, share with them. We will not store it, and we dispose of it correctly. Um, and then we coach our clients through here. This is what you really need to be doing, and what you should be providing to us going forward. And it's not just to us; it's to anyone who is a service provider to our client, and how they need to think about the responsible use of their data and how they're sharing it.
And so, Anne, what roles do education and training play in promoting ethical data use? And how does KPMG support its employees in developing the skills and knowledge that are absolutely necessary to make these responsible decisions about data?
As a professional services firm, we are consistently and constantly educating our people. Lifelong learning is embedded in our culture and our operations. And education and training is essential to creating an awareness and understanding of issues, from data and ethics to how we can utilize a new tool appropriately and apply new techniques. So we are constantly doing training at KPMG, but more often than not, it takes more than taking a course and pass an exam to change behavior and to really do things differently. This is why we curate experiences that provide our people an opportunity to cultivate their skills and to encounter what happens um, in day-to-day work, and actually with live client engagements as it relates to pro bono. But then we're there to coach them through, how do you do this well, how do you do this right. That experience is so important. I think about my own college days, and needing to complete my reading assignments, which generally ended up in a nap in the stacks at the university library. And I think I align with a majority of learners that experience is the key. And so that's why we take the learning, the coursework, and we combine it with these learning experiences so that our people can really apply. How do I appropriately use this tool? How does this technique really work? And as a part of that, how do I really ensure that I am being taking care of my clients' data? And going back to your question regarding responsible decisions, we have an ethical decision making model. Um, we have learned it in our coursework, but then we also apply it, and we have our coaches who bring us along. And how do we really think through those things that we encounter in our client engagements and in our day-to-day work? With data, we have taken one more step, though. In our ethical decision making model, we also think about monitoring. Data is constantly evolving. Data can drift as you add to it, as you get more of it. And then all of those applications, whether it's a chatbot or a machine learning tool, all of those applications can additionally drift. So what is really important is that we also have monitoring. We have our own decision-making model, but not only do we make those decisions ethically, we monitor what we're doing when it comes to the data.
That's right. And so, how is your mission to provide everyone with a baseline knowledge of how to responsibly use this data for decision making and analytic tools with client data reflected in your pro bono services?
In our pro bono services, we like to think it's, easy to do. Oh, free services, everybody's going to sign up for that. But that in reality, that's not the case. We talk to a number of organizations, um, and they're organizations that start our relationship with us because they've been nominated by, one of our partners or employees who are serving on the board or volunteering with the organization. But only actually 1 in 3 of them are ready to engage with us, and that can be because they don't have the data right now. They're not confident in their data. It, doing this is not, it requires effort on everybody's part. It's just not like, oh, well, here, turn this data over and we'll have some great insights. So, how we're really lifting the bar, so to speak, with the nonprofit world is we are having those conversations that help those organizations think about the data that they have, the data that they're utilizing. And are they utilizing it to answer their business questions? How or do they have it available? Can it be readily available? And the more we raise this to a conscious level, the more that we see changes in behavior, and the more we see nonprofits who want to be and leverage. Just like businesses, nonprofits are in the business of delivering something. They're not distributing profits. But the more ready and able they become to utilize their data in a way that is going to be positive for their business and for their stakeholders.
And that's just incredible insight and just incredible perspective that we are providing for our global audience. And so I'd like to ask you if you kindly provide a little bit more insight into the current health equity hackathon and what you are seeing in terms of participation and submissions from from the potential participants.
Really excited about our health equity hackathon. We had over 200 folks register to participate in the hackathon. Um, and you know what? They're so passionate about it and they want to learn how to use the data that over 50% of those folks said, I don't have a team to be on, but I want to participate in this and put me on a team and I will dig into it and I will figure it out. Um, and what those folks achieve, those in less than 2 weeks, getting on a team, learning who their team members are, together digging into the issue and coming up with a response to a really important social issue. Actually, it is inspiring to me to see what these folks can achieve. So, just like any good data problem that we're solving with data, we first dug into what is this issue of health equity and why is it a business imperative? We want to be and our people to be more than just woke and understand what the economics that are tied to a healthy workforce. As a part of that business understanding, we shared examples and insights that our people could better understand the social determinants of health, recognize what data is available to see where people are healthy and less healthy, and where there are gaps in access to health and health resources. After understood the issue and dug into the data, we received over 30 submissions. And some of the trends that I've seen and what has been shared with us is, first off, that our professionals who are newer to the working world are really interested in mental health and addressing mental health issues. I would say that they want to see mental health being addressed on the same way that we address physical health issues. The second thing that I've seen is that there's an opportunity to really learn from what's happening in one geography and to apply it to another geography. I'm based in Chicago, and I saw a team that really looked at what is happening in a few neighborhoods in Chicago and recognized that the demographics of those neighborhoods were very similar to the demographics of neighborhoods in Brooklyn, and said, you know what, this is a solution that we could evenly pull and reapply in those neighborhoods in Brooklyn, and we should have similar outcomes in those areas. And then the other thing I will say is there's just a real passion for health equity, and in the wake of COVID, it's just something that is more top of mind and top of the social consciousness. And not only do we need the data to focus on, where there are gaps in health and where there are solutions and how we address healthcare deserts, but that we also need to have and utilize the data for the business case for investing in health equity. The submissions that rose to the top were those who looked at the data and both saw here's the that needs to be addressed, but also saw what the economic and business benefits were to addressing it.
That's just profound. And so, in terms of advice, so you're helping to guide, you're helping to inform, and ultimately affect the success of these organizations. And so, what advice do you have for other organizations looking to make more management decisions that are responsibly data driven? And what lessons have you learned from your work with data citizens with purpose?
So I would say that the lessons I've learned about utilizing data and making management decisions are I put them in two categories. The first one is you need to know what data you're collecting, um, and how it can answer business questions. And so what are we collecting? What do we have? And how can it? Is it the right data? Do we need different data to answer the questions that we have and how we're thinking about moving forward strategically? That's the first thing. And related to that is what condition is our data in that we actually have? You know, um, if you don't have good data going into your analysis, dare I say, you're going to get crap analytics coming out. So, really making sure that you're paying attention to quality, consistency, and completeness in your data is really important. The second thing that I have realized, both from my own perspective and in talking to clients, is that there is a lot of publicly available data that you can use to better understand your own volunteer pool in relation to where you're recruiting volunteers or what's happening with the beneficiaries and the clients that you're working with in relation to the larger world. By utilizing that publicly available data, you'll much better understand your program in relation to what's happening in the wider community, society, and economy.
Incredible. And so, you're ensuring that the data practices align with the company's broader commitments to sustainability and corporate social responsibility at KPMG. How are you doing that in?
Well, we recognize and operate on the principle that data is core to all things ESG. And I consider ESG to be synonymous with sustainability and corporate responsibility. And so then data becomes woven into everything we do. We're putting it top of mind. I've said it a couple of times. Like we have a business question, we have an issue. What is the data? What does the data tell us? The data gives us a baseline as far as what our greenhouse gas emissions are, how diverse our workforce is, what our supply chain, how it operates. That data really then becomes core and essential to how you think about ESG and your sustainability commitments. The second part of that is, and it kind of relates to the governance in ESG, is it is that valuable asset. And like all of your financial assets, you protect those and you have governance over them. You have to have the same over your data. And at KPMG, we have that, and it's certainly something we model for our clients, and we talk to them on a regular basis about how are you thinking about your data as it relates to your operations. And it is this incredible asset that you have. So how are you protecting it and safeguarding it?
Incredible. And then how do you envision and the future of this responsible data use? And how is KPMG preparing for this future?
Yeah. So, I think it's an incredibly exciting time for data scientists and data nerds. You can hardly pick up the paper, or who picks up a paper anymore? You can hardly read the news or listen to a newscast without hearing about Chat GPT and other mega data aggregators. I'm not a data ethicist or a data scientist. I don't think you need to be one to recognize that there's power to do incredible good with data, but there's also the opportunity to do some harm. What stands out for me is something I read that Todd Lohr, he's one of our technology consultancy leaders at KPMG, he shared with the Wall Street Journal, I think it was last week. And, there is bias in data. And we've made incredible investments as a society and an economy to remove bias. Um, right now, there is an opportunity to address bias as we, continue to build out all of these algorithms. And we need to build in controls into our AI and software development. Better tools and monitoring, which I talked about for our own decision making, um, will really help ensure that the data is used for the best good. For me personally, the future with data is checking myself and checking my assumptions. It's bringing along a diverse set of colleagues as we think about what we're doing to mitigate bias and to be holistic in how we think about utilizing it. I will say as a woman, doing these things is really important to me and something that we need to start asking and expecting of others.
And Gross, KPMG, leading the way, changing the world, inspiring, and having incredible impact on the entire nation and the planet. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. It's been a wonderful spending the afternoon with you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Anne, and thank you to KPMG.